Hello, this is Patrick from XPression. I'd like to show you a new feature of XPression Maps 3.0 and higher, the ability to change road colors. So I'm working in XPression Designer here, an XPression Maps Designer I should say, and what you see here is a map of a small town, and there's a couple different types of roads in here, and the map background is now a dark color, and what I'm looking at here as I zoom in, these streets might not be the color that I might want them to be. So what I want to do is I'm going to click on one of them. I want to double click actually, and what you'll notice when I double click it highlights. I'm going to double click again to turn the highlight off, but you'll notice in the style editor for OSM style editor you now see the roads category has expanded itself, and the road type that I clicked on has now expanded and it's now highlighted. So what you're going to notice is that road type, again looking at the columns for color and highlight, there is a gray choice for the road, and right below it you're going to see that I've got all the different choices that go on here, but I'm going to click on the color for minor. We'll do work this first, and let's say instead of this being a darker gray I want this to be a lighter color, and you can see as I change the slider they now become that lighter color, so they're almost white. So I've got that ability, and if I don't like the way that road is I can also click the properties of the road, and you can see here that I've got this preset structure here. These roads will appear when the zoom category or the zoom value is above 126, and it will disappear if it's at 250. So that's what I've got here. Now the line width for the map, if I click on the width you can see it goes in small units, but I can make these street lines be larger. Maybe I want to make this be as big as 3.0 for a close-up of this particular map. Now what I want you to notice when I do that, if I zoom back out, those are pretty big lines. So that may not be what you want for everything, but maybe in that particular zoom ratio that you have there, that might be okay. I'm going to go back and I'm going to set that back to my default value. And again, I've changed it to 3.0, and what that basically is, that's 3 times the default width of what that line is supposed to be, dictated by the OpenStreetMap software. I can also change the transparency if I want to. I could also add a stipple pattern to them if I wanted to, which makes them like a dotted line. And I could change the values of that stipple pattern to be bigger or smaller chunks. So as you can see here, I've made that 1.0 times 0.5, so that's kind of more like a dotted line, but I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn that off completely. I've got this pretty much set the way I wanted, and this lets me do it, but I want you to notice that there's a lot of types of roads here. And what you'll notice, I changed the minor roads to white. I have a major road here, which is yellow. This is probably a secondary or tertiary road, so if I click on it, double click it to find it, it's a secondary tertiary, and it's got 2 properties here. I'm going to click on it again to make it yellow. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see this a little better. There's actually a border, it's called a casing. And I'm going to make it more pronounced because I'm on the secondary tertiary in the OSM style editor, but I'm going to go below it first to the secondary casing, and I'm going to change that casing to white just so we can see it a little better. And I'm going to change the road from bright yellow to maybe a ugly blue. So you can now see that casing a little bit. It's a little hard to see, but it's definitely there. I could increase or decrease the width of that. You'll notice that I've got the ability to do this for bridges and highways and everything else. And also what I want to show you is I can choose a highlight color. So for example, right now this is that kind of purplish blue, but if I double click it, the road goes to red. How come? Because it's got a highlight color, and the highlight color is bright red. So if I change that highlight color to be yellow, that's kind of a green, but we'll live with it. That's what that road looks like when it's selected, and this is what it looks like when it's not selected. So again, you get to choose the color scheme that works for what you're trying to accomplish, and this happens for highways, this happens for roads, this happens for bridges and tunnels and everything else that you have in here, even walking paths. And you also have the ability to change the text, which we'll take care of in the next video.